Hi, hello, and welcome to Explainwallah, an exclusive program run by LearnStroke IAS classes by Arjun, and I am Arjun R Shankar. Today we are discussing an important issue of the Niger crisis, because the newspapers are discussing this important concept, Niger crisis. What exactly is happening in Niger? And you know that a military coup has happened. Whenever there is a military coup happening, the military junta or the military people, they overthrow the existing government and take control. So what is the global reaction to this crisis, and how is the people of Niger reacting to this, and what is the concept of uranium diplomacy inside this? So we'll find out all this answer in today's Explainwallah. Before we go into the detailed issue, a lot of people watching this will actually have an idea that Niger and Nigeria, it sounds the same, but is Niger and Nigeria the same? No, definitely not. Niger and Nigeria are entirely both different geographical and different countries, and Niger on the other side geographically is much more larger than Nigeria, and Niger is more a landlocked country, and Nigeria is actually on the coastal places of Africa. It's actually on the coasts of Africa. So both the countries are entirely different, and you should clearly have an idea about the geography of Niger. Where exactly is, you know that it is an African country, but where exactly is the Niger located? That is also very important. If you check the map of Niger, you can clearly see Algeria, Libya, Chad, Nigeria, Benin, Burkina Faso, Mali. You can clearly see that these are important countries which are actually surrounded with Niger. And you know why I told this is because when you analyze the few countries over there, the political and economic situations of these regions also has a big contribution to the crisis that is happening in Niger. So now you got a clear-cut idea about where Niger and Nigeria is all about, and why this military coup has happened, because the military has toppled the government of Mohamed Bazoum. All the constitution is completely dismissed, and all the institutions are suspended, and the borders are completely closed. They say that this is basically because of the bad governance that Niger was actually witnessing. It's a bad governance and completely the security problems and the security issues and the economic problems that has created this move. So bad governance is the important citation that the military spokesperson is actually telling at this point of time. When you extend the problem from the military issue, apart from bad governance, economic issue, high corruption, the biggest problem that is plaguing Niger's internal problem was the problem of insurgency. Because when you closely associate or check the Nigerian borders, you can clearly see that groups operating who are associated with Al-Qaeda or ISIS or Boko Haram are continuously creating a lot of issues in this region operating from the Nigerian borders, and you see that more than hundreds of deaths are casualties are reported from this region. So this again is a big time issue of Niger. And how do you look at this from the support of the West? So what is Niger's position or support system that is coming from the West? So when you look at it from the geopolitical perspective, you can see that United States of America and France are the biggest supporters of Niger in this region. And you should know that Niger is a big time supporter of Washington's fight against insurgency. And that is the reason why more than 1,000 plus soldiers or troops are stationed in Niger. And even the French forces, France has got a very big impact in Niger's internal problems, and which we will discuss in this Explainwallah. But you always understand, French forces, the French troops are also stationed in Niger. So this is Niger and the impact of the West. In this crisis, it is very important to know how the world responded to the Niger crisis. And you will see that the United Nations, United States of America, Germany, European Union, everybody outrightly condemned the military action in Niger. And the United Nations completely dismissed or terminated all the financial humanitarian assistance program being run, and the European Union has completely shut down the security collaborations. And the French President Emmanuel Macron also said that because the French embassy in Niger was also targeted, he said any attack on France will be taken very seriously. And next is regarding Niger is actually divided by ECOWAS and Mali and Burkina Faso, which are very important players in this region. So ECOWAS is nothing but it's a group of West African countries, around 15 countries which come together. So ECOWAS is simply economic community of West African states, and Mali and Burkina Faso on one side. So ECOWAS is actually of the opinion that a strong sanction should be put on Niger. That means sever all trade relations, everything with Niger should be stopped, and even you should actually put a no-fly zone over the Niger's commercial flights. But Mali and Burkina Faso are of a different nature, and they are supporting the military action in Niger. And there is a reason why that, because Niger has a very strong connection and support system with France. And that is very important because France is of a great supporter, and that is why Niger has a lot of allegiance towards France. But Burkina Faso and Mali do not have that kind of a connection. That is the reason why they are supporting the military action in Niger. Next is we have to understand what is the concept of this uranium diplomacy in this picture. Why uranium diplomacy is actually coming into picture is because Niger produces more than 7% of the global supply of uranium. And not even that, it supplies more than 25% of uranium supply sales to European Union. And again, uranium is actually sourced by France on a large scale basis from Niger. So that is again one of the reasons why France is supporting. France has a big interest in Niger. So with the economic coup happening in Niger, the world countries which are actually looking forward and dependent on uranium sales is actually concerned about the next part of the how actually it is going to shape up. Before we end this complete issue, what is the impact of France and Russia in this complete section? Why is Niger even concerned with France and Russia on both the sides? After the military coup, thousands of people protested in the streets in the capital city of Niamey, Niger, with slogans saying, "Long live Russia, long live Putin, and down, down France." Why is that so? That is very important to note because the president, before the military action, the president even supported the redeployment of the French Barkhane forces in Niger. So the president brought back the Barkhane forces of France back to Niger. And in the recent time, you know that Niger, it is not the first time that a military coup is happening. Many attempts have already happened and failed, but there were at least in history, after 1960, you can clearly see that at least 3 to 4 times military coups have happened in Niger. And in the recent time, when I first discussed about the geographical part, you look at the countries which are near. All of them, which we call it as in the Sahel region of Africa is famous. You look at the Sahel region, majority of them have witnessed economic problems, corruption, and big time security issues, insurgency, and most importantly, you will see that all of them have seen internal rebellions and military coups. And when some things of the similar things, when that happened in Mali and Burkina Faso, many of these countries are strong supporters of Russia. So in many of these countries, the immediate alternate, whenever there is a military fallout or a military problem, they see it as Russia's support in that. But whenever there is a problem that happened in Niger, they believe that if in all these places, whenever there a problem came, Russia was the immediate alternate. And this time in Niger, majority of them believe that Russia is going to be the alternate in Niger. But here, Niger has a strong support system from economy-wise, everything. France is a big-time savior for Niger. So this is the reason why France and Russia are equally involved in this issue. So in short, I think you got a basic idea about what the Niger crisis, how the world is responding. So in the coming days, we need to see how Niger crisis shape up and what is the status of all the countries in the neighborhood of Niger, and how is the world responding to the greater problem of military insurgency, corruption, and economic disturbances. We'll find out other issues in the coming Explainwallah.